Hello family, this is my next video and I'm going to kind of recap and get a fresh start on this, and I'm going to start out by articulating the purpose for why I wrote the book called The Anatomy of Existence and the Power of Belief. The purpose, my purpose and objective is to empower and inform particularly young people, preferably between the ages of say 10 and 25, 30, anywhere in between there. 10 if your parents allow you, or if you stumble onto this, they won't tell you anything that will endanger you, and you can feel free to let your parents know that you stumbled onto this thing and you want to ask some questions. And if they tell you not to watch any more of it, then you have to listen to your parents. That's what you were born into. And there's reasons for everything. Just the fact that you stumbled onto the first part of this part where I'm going to expose you to some different realities. It's for a purpose. It was meant to be. And it's maybe you just need to, this is just to get you started on the path. So that's what my purpose and objective for doing this and writing this book. And again, the name of the book is The Anatomy of Existence and the Power of Thought and Belief. To actually get it accurate, see it accurately, is The Anatomy of Existence and the Power of Thought and Belief. Okay? Okay, now my one of the things I want to introduce to you is the ellipse symbol that you will see here. Okay, and my mouse seems to be acting weird again. Let me see what's going on here. Why it's doing this again. It just seems to, whenever I open up PowerPoint, it seems to really mess with my mouse. So, okay, I don't see anything happening. All right, okay, let's put that back and get back to PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint is really messing up. Okay. Okay. All right. Getting back on point here. And the so my purpose has at least 7 different points that I want to bring up. One is the first one that I said is to empower young people, particularly between the ages of say 10 and 35 or 40. That's what I want to reach. That's my target audience. Okay, and the reason why I'm reaching out to you is because I want you to have the freedom. I want you to know the truth of who you are from someone that doesn't want anything from you, okay, except just to pass on this information and to at least give you the chance to learn earlier in your existence than what I had, which mine wasn't bad, but I want yours to be better. Evolution, the requirements of existence always is to be better. Okay, and that's why I'm doing this. And I want to empower you with knowledge, the knowledge of who you are and why you exist, to give you the knowledge of your purpose, and hopefully to inspire and fascinate you with the realization of who you are and why you exist. And to inform you of some of the rules and to articulate and express to you and teach you about the structure of existence. I'm coming and I'm giving you this information from the perspective and from the mind of a person who always wanted to know why Why are things the way they are? Why was I born into this? You'll have answers to that too. Who am I? You know, and will I ever be able to control any of this stuff that I'm born into? Why was I born here? What is the difference between America and the rest of the world? Why? The big why. The questions I'm going to answer for you, I want to give you answers to from my perspective, is who you are, what you are, and why. These are the three key. And in giving you this knowledge, you will inherit or consequently learn or be empowered to learn some skills. And these skills will bring you what I really wanted to give you, is power and control. The greatest power I want to give you is the power to control both yourself and to build an environment where you can live in peace and with a strong sense of purpose, happiness, and to have joy, and to be completely and totally free of the number one negativity, the one thing that I was blessed not to have to live in, but I see so many people's lives are just ruined by stress because of fear. Fear is the number one wrecking ball of life. And some people promote fear by taking advantage of your lack of knowledge. And that's what I want to give you, is the knowledge that will empower you to overcome and to completely control and dominate fear in all of its aspects and from every direction that it tries to come at you. And fear is primarily propelled by ignorance, lack of knowledge. Okay? And I want you to be informed, because I want to be able to instill in you this sense of peace, security, and by doing that, you are automatically going to experience a sense of happiness. And through the knowledge that I'm going to give you, you're going to be empowered. And that power is going to give you a sense of security and a sense of, aha, I got this. I will never be afraid for the rest of my life of the most number one thing I want you to be free of being afraid of, free from being afraid of, is death. It is a word and it is an event, but it does not apply to you. It applies to this flesh, this car that you and I each get when we are born. Best word for it is a car, or what you called it when I was studying spirituality, is the vehicle. This is the vehicle that you were born into. The vehicle dies, not you. You are not your vehicle. You are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. You use your thoughts. You have thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not what you hear. You are that which hears things. You are that which speaks. You are that which experiences feelings. You are that which experiences happiness. You are an entity, a spiritual, an electromagnetic spiritual being that never, ever dies. Ever. Can't. Don't happen. Not possible. You will learn this in time. This vehicle experiences pain, and it has a finite existence. It has a finite cycle in existence. Existence itself never stops. You are existence. We'll get into that. And I want to remove all of these myths and all of these fallacies and all of these mind games and con games and crap that you have learned because you were born into this crap. Okay, and what I want to do is free you. I want to free your mind. I don't need no followers. I'm not recruiting anybody. I am sharing information. I don't need no followers, though. I don't want you to follow me. Don't say I'm a Russian. I'm a Christian. If my name was Christ, then you would be a Christian. No, yeah. No, I want you to be you, but I want you to have the tools and the skills and the knowledge to be what you are supposed to be. You are here to fulfill a purpose. That purpose serves the masses, serves everybody. It don't serve you. It might serve me because I'm not you, the individual. I am your coexistent person. I am a person who lives next to you and shares this existence with you. And everything that you are about is to be shared with me. It's for me. Everything that I am about is for you. It's not for me. That's the way this is set up. I want you to understand that that's what you were born into. So every human being, every animal, every thing in this existence is already yours and is here to serve you. And everything you are about is here to serve everything else. That's the symbiotic back and forth relationship, but you got to understand your role. And when you understand who you are, you'll understand that you don't need anything from anybody here. You interact with the people here because that's what life is about. But it's not about you actually needing, but it is about you actually sharing. It is about expressing care for each other, love for each other on all its levels. Family, your children, your parents, your brothers, your neighborhood, the people you grow up with, your mate, whoever that is, your dog or the plants or the forest that you were born into, your environment that you live in. All of it works together. You're a part of everything. There is no real separation. You have the illusion of individuality, but the word individual, if you look it up, the word dividual means almost like a divided thing. But then why did you put the word in front of it? And the word in means not divided. So the word individual still says that you're a part of everything. You're not divided from everything. But that's how we have to, you have to have language and you have to have structure. And I have to be able to communicate with you. So I have to be able to articulate that when I'm talking to you, instead of the wall, instead of the light, instead of the fish in the tank or something, animal or the dog in the house, I'm talking to you. So as an individual, which says as a not separate person, but you are a microcosmic being right now having a human experience, and that vehicle that human experience is happening through, that vehicle has a name. My vehicle has the name of Russ. My mom gave me this name, Russ. So I changed it to Russ because it's just easier. I have that prerogative. It's my vehicle. My mom gave it to me, but now it's mine. Okay, it was given through my mom, from us to this individual to use to serve us. You got to understand that dynamic. See, this is the dynamic that wipes out race. See, it wipes out gender superiority. It wipes out race superiority. You have structure, yes. You're born into a culture. There may be leadership in your culture that you need to respect. There may be cultural laws and norms that you need to be able to respect. And if you're going to change those laws and whatnot, you have to understand there's a dynamic and a way to do that. But you have to learn to live in harmony. You have to learn to get along in this environment that you're born into. And that's the whole joy of life, is learning to get along, learning to control your vehicle, learning all of the skills you need in order to make manifest what you need to manifest in order to fulfill your purpose. And you need to know what your purpose is, and that will come to you over time. There's all kinds of different ways to learn that. Okay, but your primary purpose is here to serve everything else in your environment. And everything else in your environment symbiotically or consequently or conversely is in your environment to serve you. But you're a part of a team, you're a part of a group, you're a part of a human, not just your little thing you're born into, your tribe or whatever country and whatever you were born in, your family. Yes, that's structure. But ultimately, you're here to serve existence itself, which is you. Back to you. It always goes out and it comes back. And it never stops, it never ends. It's what we call an infinite relationship for an infinite being. And if you come from something that's infinite, everything within it is infinite and lives forever, never stops. The physical expression comes and goes like leaves on a tree, comes and goes. But the spirit that rides in that vehicle cannot die. It can be manipulated, meaning you can come in a different form. You can come in a different vehicle. You can be a woman. You can be a man. You can be manipulated. And many scientists say it this way. They say mass can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be manipulated. And I found that when I first heard that, I said, I didn't know about that. But then over time, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It just changes. And just like what in the movie, for me, I found that a lot of lessons come to me through movie and theater. I found that Keanu Reeves is one of these actors who, I guess he seeks out scripts that speak to what his purpose is. The movie When the World Earth Stood Still, his recent movie that he did, same thing happens. You just watch him, listen. He for some reason he hones in on these things. And of course, his best movie was Matrix. I mean, that movie is so filled with principles and laws and rules on a metaphysical level, Rosicrucian, a spiritual highest, one of the highest forms of culture, of spiritual culture that I've seen in modern times. That movie is a codification of things that I learned 40 years ago when I first got on the path of righteousness through the Rosicrucian, who initiated me into spiritual culture and metaphysics. Okay, so that's my goal, to remove ignorance, remove fear, it's particularly the fear of death, and particularly the confusion of heaven and hell. And I'm going to deal with that right up front, because there's a lot of religious dogma, and religions in and of themselves are nothing but vehicles of controlling the masses. And I want you to be free to choose to participate in a religion if you want to. But I don't want you to be scared into following or participating in a religion. I don't want you to do it because you're scared of going to some heaven and hoping you can get through the gates. Or scared of the fact that you won't be allowed through some stupid concept of going through some gates, or the fear, the terror of going to hell and being ripped and shredded, and your very imagination is actually tricked into believing this crap to the point where people have nightmares about this stuff. To show you the power of your thought, the power of belief. These brutes, these filthy people who manipulate your very thoughts, who brainwash you into being terrified to the point of having nightmares. And that angers me no end, that they're doing this on purpose to you. They're stealing and robbing your peace and your freedom and your power to control your own thoughts. To the point my poor mother, who is sitting here terrified at the end, at the final years of her life, because of this stupid heaven and hell lie. And now her whole final lives is ruined, wrecked. She sits there, can't sleep. She's terrified of death because of this stupid, filthy myth. And I don't want anybody else to go through the hell that my poor mom is living in right now, because she believes. That's why I wrote this book, is to give you the power to control your thoughts. And learn through controlling your thoughts to control what you believe. Nobody else should have that power but you. You were born to have it, and any parents that you were born to, and any preacher or pastor or whatever these things are that they got out here that's supposed to be teaching you who you are, makes my blood boil. That they take advantage of your ignorance to make you a slave to them. And they know better. Most of them know better. And they do it anyway. And you know why they do it? Because they can. They're brutes. And they know better. That is true evil in my book. And you ain't got to wait to go to hell to see it or know it. And you ain't, that heaven that they telling you is after you die don't exist. The hell they tell you that you're going to go to after you die don't exist. Never has existed. Terrorizing people for their whole lives for a lie, a filthy, no good lie, in order to control you and make you buy the things they want you to buy when they want you to buy it, and how to give you money and make you give it right back to them. They create an entire system that makes you a virtual debt and money and materialistic slave. They don't need chattel slavery anymore, folks. They got your mind. They got your mind. And I'm here to get you free, break you free, set you free. You go to hospital to get healed. And when you get healed, you're supposed to leave the hospital and come out into the world and do good. It's like Teddy Roosevelt and FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Their parents told them, go into the world and be something. Do something. Make some good of yourself. Make the world better. That's what you're supposed to be here to do. And that's why I admire those two presidents, as well as Lyndon Johnson, because he got to the game later on, but he knew this white supremacy crap is nonsense. And I'm here to tell you that that heaven and hell crap is nonsense. Don't be afraid. Don't let them trick and bamboozle you into that crap. It is absolute nonsense. You are a powerful, unlimited being having a human experience. You don't have to have a single other nightmare over this lie. There's no such thing. It don't exist. Neither one of them. I don't care how good they draw up heaven to be. It's a lie. The only heaven you're going to know is once you know who you are, you understand why you're alive, and you understand your purpose to exist. And I already told you that. You are here to serve and service to each other. The word that is given to the word service, the other word for that is called love, compassion, caring, taking care of each other. Yes, you are your brothers and your sisters and your dogs and your house and your environment and the trees and the water you drink. You are their keeper and they are your keeper. That's your purpose. That's the higher existence that you were always meant to be. And existence, God, as you call it, is only concerned about one thing. You are God first and foremost. Let's get that clear. You're just here having a personal, individual experience. But once you tap into this power and you know who you are, you will be able to feel the magnitude of what you are. And the more you live it, the more powerful you're going to become. But to know truth, you got to live it. And in order to be able to live it now, and all of this malfeasance and all of this corruption and all this evil and this crap and these lies and this filth that you were taught, we created this. These people are no separate. That's why evil, and there's no separating good from evil. Don't get me wrong. I'm a soldier for good. That's my job. Okay, but I don't want them to not exist. I want them to learn. But as soon as they learn, they're going to be some more creative. Because if you don't have this duality, these opposing forces, then you will never know what good is. Good is only relative to bad. And you decide what is bad. Bad for you is whatever's stopping you from being the best that you can be. You're here to be the best in you. And you know what the best is? At the end of the day, is back to the realization that you are God. And once you become God, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. It is boring. And so you have to be born ignorant and totally oblivious to what you really are. Because once you come to that reality and full circle and realize that you are God, there's nothing else to do. So this is a journey. We set this journey up. You set it, me, all of us. We are part of God. We set this up. So I don't hate Trump. I don't hate evil. I don't hate people that want to keep you ignorant. I don't hate them. Just not going to allow it. And you're not going to learn everything. You're not going to actually be able to feel you feel it for microseconds, your oneness with all things. You feel it for a microsecond. But you're not going to come out. You don't want to come out of this existence because this is the only place you can feel things. This is the only place you can love. This is the only place you can enjoy beauty. This is the only place you can drink water and be quenched. Once your physical being is gone, you don't have these feelings. They don't exist. You don't need them. You're already perfection itself. And you're everywhere all the time at the same time. So there's nowhere to go. Time doesn't exist for you. You are omnipresent and omnipotent. Means you don't need to make anything because you already are everything. All the time, at the same time, everywhere at the same time. You are the totality, the singularity. You are the one. And in that form, there is nothing to do except start the cycle all over again. Where you are born ignorant as a child, as a baby, infant, helpless, totally ignorant, don't know who the hell you are, nothing. And that's the journey. That's the process. And no matter what you do, you won't be able to stop it. In a nutshell, that's it. You may not believe me. That's who we are. We are. We shall know heaven. We shall see heaven. Heaven is not someplace you go. Heaven is knowing who you are and being comfortable that you are in this perspective and you have no problem in living it because now you know why you're here. That's heaven. You know why you're here. Heaven is knowing what your purpose is. I'm in heaven already because I know my purpose is to teach. My purpose is, everybody's purpose is to love, is to care for each other. Everybody's purpose is that, but my purpose is to teach. My purpose is to protect. My purpose is to awaken the dead, the lost, the confused. That's my purpose. And I'm in heaven because I know it. Through and through. Balls to walls, as they say in the movie Matrix. It's funny. And you should be able to laugh because now you know. There's no doubt. There's nothing. Nobody will ever be able. My mom always tells me, you think you know everything. And no, I don't know everything. I do from one perspective. If I go into my God self and I allow myself to stand still, and the only way you can know your God self is you have to do what God does. We stand still because there is nowhere to go, because we're already there. So the only thing we can do is stand still. We don't need to think about time because there's nowhere to go. We don't want anything. I don't want anything because I am already everything. That's when you'll feel your oneness with God. Once you realize these things, and they're going to keep coming back over and over, because that's the journey. We came here ignorant so that you can rediscover who we are. That's the journey. You have fun doing that. Okay? So you want to smoke some weed. So you want to drink a little bit. So what? Just don't become addicted to anything. The only thing you need to be addicted to is the realization of who you are. And there is no drug that can come close to that. Trust me when I tell you, when you get a taste of this, there's no wine, there's no crack, there's no cocaine, because every drug and everything you're doing is you in a dysfunctional, crooked, twisted kind of way, trying to actually get to this. The feeling and the power of knowing your God. And you don't want nothing because you got everything already. Everything is you. How could you want yourself? That's like crazy. Think about it. You don't need to want. I don't need anybody else's house. I don't need 5 houses. Only thing I need as a microcosmic being is to be warm, to have food and water, people that I take care of and people that take care of me. That's the symbiotic relationship. People that love me and people that I love. People who have a need and then I have something that I can help them fulfill that need. That's like you taking care of yourself. It's like common sense. I mean, once you get this, you're done. These people in Syria, these bombs and all this stuff, oil, burning oil, when you can drive an electric car, that you can get the power from the sun for free. Star Wars, baby. Star Trek, Star Wars. Money, don't need it. And this terrifies the hell out of conservatives and white supremacists. Because this is their structure that they have built over thousands of years. They're terrified of you waking up. They're terrified of that. Why do you think there has been no education? Why do you think they fight education? They don't want you to stumble onto this. You won't worship at their feet anymore. You won't want their things. They're terrified of you learning the truth, of you becoming free of wanting stuff. They're terrified of this. This is what they hate and they fear more than anything else. Because they actually believe in the mental illness of their superiority. They are completely devoid of the realization that we are all connected and we are inseparable. We cannot ever be separated from ourselves. It terrifies them. Now you know. Anyway, so I've just explained that symbiotic relationship between knowing the perfection and the power of who you are. What the goal is, though, through through your living and through this existence is for you to learn how to manipulate your thoughts to the point of repetition, like you would do if you were exercising and building a muscle. You're trying to build the thought muscle through the use of your mind so that your thoughts become so focused, so clear, and they tap into your emotions and your feelings and your judgments and everything that you gave yourself. You have feelings for a reason. Your purpose is to feel stuff. Feel love, feel happiness, feel joy, feel sadness for when one of your entities that you have interacted through this whole lifetime and your mom passes, or your parent, or your brother, or your dog, or a fish that you loved and cherished and took care of and watched it grow dies. When its vehicle dies, you are supposed to miss it. That's the purpose of being alive, is to feel everything. Don't let nobody cut you off from your happiness. Don't let nobody cut you off from who you're supposed to be. And this is what it's about. You're supposed to feel everything. Don't let nobody cut you off from that. Okay, that's the symbiotic relationship, and the purpose is to feel. Okay? And one of the things you should feel more than anything else is a fearlessness, because you know who you are. You know you can never die. Right? And you should be happy all the time. But you're not going to be happy all the time, I can tell you that. You're going to get lost in this flesh. This flesh has a mind. It has a what's the term? We call it nefesh. It has a carnal spirit of its own, that you will forget who you are as a macro being, as God, and you will go, and you're supposed to. That's why you're here. But you don't let it control you. You moderation in all things. You're seeking the path of balance. You don't want the flesh to control you, and you don't want to be fanatically into being a macro being when you need to be the micro being. You're supposed to be here. The purpose of your existence is to interact with other entities, not just humans. Maybe whales, maybe dolphins, maybe fish, maybe dogs, maybe cats, maybe lions, maybe rhinos, other living beings, maybe trees. Maybe you're supposed to be a botanist, chickens, I don't know what it is, but you're supposed to interact with all these expressions of you. And I don't even like to say that, because that leans toward a selfish kind of thing. You want, myopic, oh, it's back to me, but I don't want you to get lost in that. It's not what it's about. You don't have to go back to you, because you already are you. It's like, get out of here. Why would I want to do that? That's no fun. You want to be different. You want to go to somebody that's different from you. You want to be fascinated by what you are not. That's the primal goal. You don't want to be perfection. You want to be imperfect. That's where that's where the fun comes in, because you forgot who you are. Now you're rediscovering it. It's the discovery. Oh wow, this is cool. This is perfect. This is pretty. This is nice. This is really warm. It feels good. You want to feel stuff. I love this. I like this. I keep coming back because I really like the way it makes me feel. I feel a part of something. I go camping, I get up in the morning, I smell the air, I see this pretty bird, I see this beautiful animal, or this whatever it is, and I hear and I watch them groom each other, and it's fascinating. Life in all its different, myriad, unlimited forms. You're the watcher. I always say the best way to describe what we are in our microcosmic self within this vehicle. We are the watchers. You are not your thought. You are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. You are not your vehicle. You are not your body. You are that which experiences thoughts. You are that which hears sound. You are that which tastes. You are that which smells stuff. But you are not smells. You are not thoughts. You are the watcher. You are the extension of God, because you are God all the time. Remember, God is everywhere all the time at the same time, having an individual experience. But even God can't get away from being God. Get to that. Isn't that amazing? No matter what you try to do, you're still God. You can't be the thought and be watching the thought. You are. But it's no fun to realize that. You're messing up the whole thing. You don't want to know that much. You want to just, that's a thought over there. If you're the thought and you're watching the thought, you're missing the whole point. The thought is over there. That's why we're here, to experience the difference. That's why diversity is what this is all about. Discovering something you don't know. It's crazy. You do want to know. You want to know how to control the thoughts. But you don't want to really realize that you are the thoughts. That defeats the purpose. That's from a macro perspective. We have assigned ourselves to be a microcosmic being watching life, experiencing life through this vehicle: smells, sounds, taste, sight, colors, light, dark. It's the experience. You don't want to be it anymore. You want to experience it from the perspective of that which does not know that it is God. It's complicated. God is complicated. We're complicated. It's not that simple. Hell, I wouldn't be able to teach anything if it was simple and everybody could just get it. That's how it is. And in time, you will come to know that. And I've already done that. I've explained that everything is you and there is nowhere you are not. And to learn acceptance of self in all your expressions, which is every piece of wood, glass, water, air, and every human, living, animated and inanimate object. You learn that truth, but now you spend the rest of your life both enjoying it and remembering it. But you kind of want to forget a little bit and just get into enjoying it. That's really what life is about. It's about successes and failures. It's about challenges. It's about people that are handicapped and you helping them, experiencing life as you know it now. This is heavy stuff. Okay? Once you get rid of the crap and the religions and the lies and the myths and the crap, now you get into really what I call living. You're not just existing to serve. You know, you want to serve, but you don't want nobody making you serve. You don't want nobody tricking you into serving. See, that's, to me, is incorrect. You want to serve because you're supposed to. It's the right thing to do. You're following the rules. It's called righteousness. You serve because you're supposed to serve. But you serve based on your purpose, not to be a slave to some other person who's taking advantage of what they think you don't know. And sometimes it's good to let them think you don't know, as long as it's fulfilling what you feel is your purpose. See, that's a different approach. See, you're not a fool. You're not being fooled. You're not drinking any Kool-Aid. Okay? You are just simply watching the interchange and the experience. The fool is the one that actually believes you don't know. So you go with it. That's power. See, power is knowing you can obliterate somebody or something, but you just choose not to. That's power. And it's funny. That realization came to me when I was just a little boy, and I could not explain it until now. I always knew that real power was being able to do something and still not do it because you just don't want to. There's no need to. No matter how wrong somebody is, I don't want to. I just don't. That's a tough thing. But once you become powerful, that's kind of codified in a couple of movies. Thor, his father, who had the power to destroy the ice gods, but he didn't want to. Like, I don't want to destroy the deplorables. I don't want them to not exist. They're lost children. You don't destroy a classroom full of children because they broke your toy, they wrecked your car, or they threw a piece of paper on the floor and ruined your image of perfection. You don't destroy a whole group of people because they don't get it and they threaten people. You spank them on the wrist, you tell them, bad boys, don't do that. No, 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 no. Law enforcement, keep an eye on them. If they murder somebody, lock them up. Put the fear of God in the rest of them. That's what you do, but you don't destroy the whole group. Why? Serves no purpose. Serves no purpose. I don't want to get rid of all evil. I just want to control it. I'm going to keep it in its place so it doesn't get out of control. I don't want it going around massacring up everybody, but let's keep it real. If we don't come up with a system or a way to be able to take care of everybody and somehow be able to live on other planets, we're going to have some birth control around here. That's why I'm kind of against these people who are talking about, all right, I don't agree, I don't do abortion either. I wouldn't agree with that. I'd rather not. But I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their lives. We have decided that women shall bring life into this world. It's their choice. But a better choice is to not conceive at all. It is far more humane. So to get rid of the birth control clinics is inhumane. You're leading a person into doing something that is inhumane. And that's inhumane, to do it on purpose. Anyway, okay. All right, so that's the purpose. And with the next one, we already went over who we are, why we are, what we are, and the duality of perfection and imperfection. Uh, being omnipotent and being a microcosmic uh, person experiencing a individual human experience on purpose. And that this relationship between thought and making things manifest um, is what this is all about. Getting back into the understanding and the knowledge of how to control thoughts. And that's where the book uh, comes into play, that, you know, I kind of studied called book Power. The book is called oh good, yeah, it's gonna be down to the bibliography, which is the book is called The Secret by Rhonda Burns, which gets into mastering of thought. The book that is even more important than the book of secrets is the Master Key System by Charles Hannell, okay, which is the guide to the laws of attraction. But the Master Key System is the system by Charles Hannell upon which a lot of this other stuff is based. Uh, Claire McGee did another book called I Believe, Therefore I Am. Uh, then the other book is just The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. These are the 4 or 5 books that I really honed in on. And what I found was the book called The Secret uh, uh, really has a lot of other authors blended into that one book. Okay, Charles Hannell is a master all by himself, and he came way before any of these other folks came. He's the beginner of that. I think he's the first person that took the teachings of the Rosicrucians, which is really about teaching you how to control your thoughts. Rosicrucians were the first teachers of the skill of learning to control your thoughts to manipulate life in a positive and constructive way. Charles Hannell codified those same teachings into his book. And then from Charles Hannell's book, it was passed on. Other people read his book, and like Rhonda Burns compiled his book and a bunch of other books of other people, other teachers, great thinkers, and created her book called The Secret. And Claire McGee took The Secret and Charles Hannell's book, and she created her book, The Belief, I Believe, Therefore I Am. Now, Eckhart Tolle is a unique person. He is what I call one of the great thinkers who was compelled to the realization of self and the separation between self and mind. And to me, he is the genius that wrote the book, The Power of Now. He helped me to put into perspective the realization that all we really have is right now. The past is great to learn from, and the future is to be created by mastering what we do here and now. And I'm going to end this video on that note.